You've reached Monster 911, and I'm Lance Hightower. I've been taking cryptid emergency calls for over 5 years. If you have a cryptid emergency, please call our toll-free number 866-306-8085. I can help you. What's your emergency? Welcome back, everybody. This is Lance with Monster 911. I hope everybody's doing well out there. And I am doing great. I was down on my back for a little bit, but I'm doing so much better. I'm about 95% better. Doing things I shouldn't do. It was kind of scary at first because I literally could not move. And I was to the point where I actually had to use a cane, believe it or not. Yeah, it was bad. But I listened to my own advice. I did the things I used to tell my patients to do. And now I'm about 95% better, getting better each and every week. So I wasn't even able to sit in this chair. So I feel kind of new again. I'm able to sit, I'm able to be with you, and I'm so thankful that I can. I'm very honored each and every week that I get to be before you, talking with you. You're like my family away from home, and so I'm very honored to be with you, and I hope you guys are doing well out there. Crazy things going on, of course, in the news with balloon stuff, Chinese balloon stuff, and I find it very interesting. You know, what do you think the government, apparently shot down some other things, but we're not sure. One place is Dead Horse, Alaska, and in the Yukon area of Canada. I wonder what that was. No one's really telling us. So did it happen? Or was it a UFO craft, a balloon, or did it even happen? Give me your thoughts on what you think out there. I'm very curious too. Like you, I'm just kind of waiting with bated breath to find out what it is. In the meantime, if you've had an experience out there, something that you've told the story a million times, but you haven't told me, I would love to hear it. And please don't judge your story on how dynamic it is or isn't. I don't look at stories and go, oh, that's not scary enough. That's not me. Number one, we don't make up stories. Number two, I don't prejudge the story. Oh, that's scarier than this one. We don't do that. Why? The story, any story that happened to someone is important. Why? Because it happened to you. And I always say sharing is good medicine for the soul, and I truly mean that. So when I get a story coming in, I look at it like this is a teaching moment. This is a learning moment. We all can learn from even the most seemingly benign stories. We can learn just something, a fraction of something that can really go, wow, we didn't know that. And we can document that. And that's why it's important to me. So we hope I pray that you never get attacked by one. But even if you heard a sound, I'd like to know kind of what was the context of what happened, where you were at, time of day, time of year. Was it personal property? Were you on hunting property? Were you hunting turkeys, deer, walking on a trail with family members at a picnic? I really want to know these things. So moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, anyone like that you'd like to call in, I'd really like to know, especially any of you that's worked in forestry, law enforcement, game ranger, game warden, all those things, of course. I welcome you. You do not have to use your name. You can use another name, and I will keep things confidential. I promise. I give my word. You can call our toll-free number anytime and let us know at 1-866-306-8085, and you can leave a message there and I'll contact you. Give me a couple days. I work full-time still. Or you can get in touch with me on the monster911.com website. Go under contacts at the menu bar, and you can give a name. It doesn't have to be your real name, and you can click and kind of tell me what happened, and then I'll contact you there. But it's easier if you do the toll-free number. It's much easier. So if you've had a creature or cryptid encounter, if you've had a UFO encounter, any way, shape, or form, or a ghostly encounter, I'd like to hear from you. Or if you've had another type of encounter that doesn't fit those three, I would seriously like to know. Okay? In the meantime, I'm still working on my book. I've got a series of books in my head that I'm writing. And so if you would like to, I'm open ears. Is there a book that's not been written that you would like to know more of? I would like to hear from you as well. So if you have any recommendations or any comments like that to improve the show, or there's a subject you would like to hear, go ahead, and if you would put it in your comment under have an idea. Make that bold and capitalized. Have an idea, Lance. And then that way it just sticks out to me. I'll see it. because sometimes I get lost in the comments. And when I'm looking at this late at night to midnight to 1 in the morning, everything kind of blends together. Okay, because I'm trying to use these and it's late and my vision gets blurred and all that stuff. So if you can do that, I'd appreciate that. In the meantime, this show that you're going to get, it was kind of cold and damp and rainy outside, and my studio, I have a heater, but it is very limited, and I was having some electronic issues, so I just moved this interview in my front room of the house. It's an older house, so the acoustics are not the best, and so I still did it, but it was kind of old school, so the sound is not the best, but it works very well for the show. So, and the lighting was just directly on me. I didn't have this nice LED lighting like I've got now, this ring lighting. I just got this, by the way, brand new. It works out great. I can do all kinds of things with the lighting. It's really nice. And so it just adds a little bit of modernistic. I don't have to use batteries and a light anymore. I can just, it's plugged in all the time, so it works really nice. So yeah, this show is really good. The gentleman called the toll-free number. So I think you'll really like it. Again, I apologize for the acoustics, but I think you'll still get the gist of the show very well. In the meantime, guys, I appreciate you. Be safe out there and always take note from these shows. And if you'd like to hear anything else, again, leave a suggestion. In the meantime, this is Lance with Monster 911. Take care.
Yeah, I've been watching some of your podcasts, and
well, any critique?
just the one today I was listening to was about a girl that seen something, and I'm not sure what date it was.
Yeah.
And I was watching, and you were going about the special services and the agents and this and that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
of... A buddy of mine, I ain't been able to get a hold of him. And he had a big one on his property.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if the government did anything to shut him up, because he called me about 6 to 8 months ago, told me one thing, and then I wouldn't be able to get a hold of him since. I texted him, said wrong number, He either died, which is very possible, people die.
Yeah.
Or somebody shut him up. Or maybe he just didn't want to say anything else no more and just changed his number. I don't know.
That's weird.
Yep, I know.
I mean, was he answering text prior to that?
Before, yeah. Well, he called me I think it was on middle of the week or whatever. He's working at noon. He said, I had to call you. He said the big man was in my headlights when I got up to go to work this morning.
Like, wow. Well,
yeah.
I would, if anything, check on him.
12-footer.
Golly.
Oh, yeah, 6 foot shoulders. I sent you a picture.
Yeah. That's a big one. I'll show my brother. My brother is here this evening visiting, Brother Bill. So he's kind of. We've been busy.
Stories. Let me get started.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
I got 5.
Yep. Go ahead, please.
We'll start with the first one. My girlfriend, about 3 weeks ago, she's up late, and the woods started about 50 feet from the house. So she hears this loud crunching, loud steps, crunch. So she goes to the flashlight. She didn't have a good one. She had cheap. So she went up to see what was in the woods. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. She heard it, and it was way loud. She said, "Made over the TV," and scared her and stuff.
And who is this again? Who is this again?
Right here at my house.
Oh, okay, at your house. Okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, wow.
But that's about when he come around. It's like in the fall, around Thanksgiving. So anyway, this summer, we're sitting here in the back playing Farco on a wood table in the backyard. Daylight, 5:30, 6, whatever. Something throws a rock at me, just misses my face. So I look over, it's daylight. I couldn't see nothing. Didn't hear nothing move. But we did have our stereo from the phone on.
Right.
Little boxes, I looked right over there, so it was right by my face, man. I knew it had velocity. I don't know if it was a spirit, or if the Bigfoots are invisible. I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of debate on some of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say from just my experience and experiences of many others, they're in the physical form, but you know, I'm gonna say that I'm open-minded to things, but I'm gonna say most of the time it's in the physical form. They're flesh and blood.
But he could have been laying down, because you know how they lay real low.
Oh, absolutely. They're like snipers. You know, they could be 15 feet from you, and you'd look right over them or under them or through. I don't know. They're just masters of their terrain.
That's right. Master of the woods.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So next little thing is a buddy of mine goes close to your neck of the woods over in Arkansas, in the what the mountains called over there.
The Arbuckles?
Nope.
Okaimeshi? Washita?
That's the main one that goes up through Missouri and all that.
Ozark.
Is it the Ozark?
Ozarks.
Ozark Mountains, yeah.
Okay.
So they take a box trailer with them. They got 2 scooters. They ride around the parks and whatever. So the last night, well, it made it the last night. They were in a park area, camping spots. So there were 3 people there. His buddy was already sleeping in the trailer. So he walks up on this hillside and leaning against a tree in the moonlight. It's as clear as a bell. It's quiet. All of a sudden, he hears this dog scream. He said it was so loud. He said he ran back to the trailer, got in it, and locked the door. And that morning, they were gone. Yeah, he said it was so loud. It was unbelievable. He's been in Colorado. He's heard woofs, and, you know.
Yeah.
He said it wasn't nothing like a dog would make. So I mean, his voice changed when he called me and told me.
And obviously, your buddy sounds like he's wood savvy. I mean, this is not something he's sitting.
He's a knower.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
He's seen.
And that's important, you know, to get perspective when someone hears something and they're a knower and they're not totally what I would call cityfied, what my brothers and I call cityfied. You know the sounds of the woods and everything, and then when you hear something that just sticks out so amazingly unordinary that you have to just stop in your tracks, going, okay, I know what that wasn't, you know, and exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, he changed his tune on that stuff for sure. But anyway, like I said, he knows. He's seen 3 one time.
Oh, wow.
Probably 30 years ago, he built his house and he was sleeping next to the fire. And they put food in there. Because the animals, you know, they got them eating dinner in the fire. He said he woke up with 3 of them sitting around the fire, digging in the fire because it was cooled down. He looked at them and screamed like a girl, and they all jumped and ran off.
Wow.
That's exactly what he told me. I was like, I've known him since high school.
Wow.
You know, yeah, that's what people I talk to is just people that I.
That'd be a hell of a wake-up alarm.
I would.
Oh my gosh. that would
yeah.
That's a Charmin moment.
Especially on your property, you get ready. You got your new place going up.
Yeah. That'd make you kind of think twice about where you're going to build.
Yeah, it's still there though.
Wow.
Still got it. Yep, and then I come across another fella I ain't seen in 30 years, and he works on cars. I've known him forever. High school. That's when I asked him to work on my Impala. So I called him and was talking, and towards the end of his age, you ever hear anything about the Bigfoots and stuff or anything? He goes, oh yeah. So we got one that lives right here with us. Neighbors seen it and smells, and screams, the tree knocks. And his wife and daughter was coming home one night. It was dark. Seen a big brown one on all 4s on the road. Scared them to death.
Oh,
Come home crying.
Man.
And that's probably 20 miles from me. Yep. And he said one night he does body work and electric. He does anything on cars. He's a master of it.
Okay.
And something threw a rock in the garage one night. Garage doors opened. Right on in the garage, he said.
Wow. That's a hint. That's a big hint.
Yep, that's, then they said there's one spot back in the woods smells. There's like the state bought the property. That's probably why.
Ah.
And he said there's a spot back there that smells real bad. And I said, well, that's probably where they put the deer carcasses and whatnot, or it could be where they hang.
Well, I would, I've never come up on a spot per se yet, but there's some people I've interviewed in the past where they come up on like a boneyard, and if it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, in a secluded area, why not keep using that spot? So it makes sense to me if there was a boneyard, a carcass area where you just kind of dump your refuse, so to speak.
Sure. He said it just smelled like wet dog. It was real stinky, dog wet,
Yeah.
That's what he mentioned. And yeah, he's around there. I know exactly where he lives. And his other friend of mine, I've known probably 15, 20 years. He's a concrete man and lives 3 miles from the house. He's got a video of one, and he heard him banging on a tree at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the afternoon from his house. It was up on the hill. He said he was swinging a 5-inch round log, one hand.
He was
smacking his tree.
He saw it?
Yeah, he got pictures, but see, he wouldn't. He just got a phone. He's got it backwards. He had a flip phone forever. He just got a phone. So he didn't know how to zoom it in, and he's not real, phone savvy.
Yeah, well, most people are. And it's if I get in a hurry, I'm like, I've got all thumbs.
Yeah, and also what he does, he lives on a creek.
Oh,
so
interesting.
He collects these rocks. He's got thousands of rocks inside the house, on the back deck, on the porch, everything. So I said, well, you're practicing them off.
Well, yeah, I mean,
rocks, Bigfoot's, man. I collect rocks everywhere I go when I raise a ride. I build my fire pit with it.
Oh, cool.
Sand rocks. It's really neat. But I said, man, you're taking the rocks. So,
yeah, there might be some. I never thought about that. There might be some truth in that. If they, they may not understand the human nature or characteristic of a hobby like collecting rocks or things like that. They might be foreign to them. Like, what's he doing? That's rocks. What are you collecting them for? I never thought about that. That's something that's never been brought up.
I tell you, dude, he's got rocks that look like elephants, bears. I mean, just little rocks. Hold your hand,
Wow.
But he's got thousands of them. Just he's eat up with it. He's a trip. And then he called me probably 2 years ago, and he said 3 nights in a row we've had skunk smell come in the windows. And that's the one I smelled down here, which was only 3 or 4 miles from his house. It smelled like a skunk. And I seen that. And I was like, yeah, they're probably around.
Wow.
Sure enough, big tree knock, and he got the video of it. He's got to be on a computer, blow it up. He didn't zoom in real good.
Man.
But
well,
it's right there.
It's so hard. You almost need to have a GoPro running all the time. That there's where there's no auto zoom where you're going to get anything blurry. It's just, but unfortunately, there's no zoom to the camera, but it's always clear. And that's the only way.
It goes up a little bit, but not real good.
Yeah, not everybody runs with a GoPro on.
But plus, like, he's a concrete guy. Drinks 12-pack every day. He's a concrete guy. But he knows. He knows, that's for sure.
Wow.
Heck yeah. That's just right down the road from me. I can be here in 5 minutes.
Wow. That's incredible.
It is. And then there's a nature reserve right above him, which is probably a mile, 3/4 of a mile square. These people, I guess, passed away and they made it a nature reserve. Or maybe they own the property and just made it that for nobody ever built on it.
Okay.
And there's a house right above on the hillside where the Bigfoot was standing.
Wow.
It's crazy. This is a day.
That's you're telling me that there's these Bigfoot or Bigfoot are midday, they don't have a problem being seen, or?
Dude, I don't know. Like I said, he's the one stealing the rocks. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that one out there, the other one I told you about before, he said he was a big gray one.
Yeah, that's
big gray ones are all alpha males, and they say if you see them, it's a rare thing. I think it's about it, but the rock throat on my face was pretty cool.
The what?
The rocks that was thrown in my face.
Oh yeah, that's an eye opener.
It blows me away, man.
You know? Well, and my feeling is, and based on, I've had things hit me out in the woods like nuts, pine cones, but I've never had rocks. And my thought on the rocks, especially when people say that it gets close to their face or their body, that was intentional. If they wanted to really peg you, they could have and would have.
This thing was a beeline. It looked like about as big as a dime.
Wow.
It was a beeline, dude. It was just straight shot.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to.
Playing Farkle dice. I'm like, what the hell is that?
That's interesting. yeah, that's interesting.
She's seen it too. I was like, yeah. It looked like an acorn fell off the tree,
Did you know what it was immediately when that happened? I mean, what was going on, or who had thrown it?
Dude, I just seen that rock go by, and I'm going, that's going to be a ghost or a Bigfoot.
Okay.
Because that is Indian burial ground next to my house for like a mile.
Oh, that's right. Is that that burial ground? I can't remember from our previous conversation we had.
Yeah.
I think it was already.
It's all Indian sacred ground, I was told.
Yeah, I think the last time we spoke was June. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
It went by fast. Have you had any other paranormal phenomenon actually? Stuff happening. Yeah, in your house.
Did I tell you about the ghosts?
Well,
the spirits.
Maybe. Could you bring that up again? I can't recall.
Yeah, we had dishes fly off the counter on the floor.
Oh.
Had doors moved twice. Doors moved and banging. So you hear some banging going on. It was like I had a guy sit next to me, or somebody sit next to me in the bed. You can see him sit down next to me.
Oh, you could see the imprint.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long?
Sitting there.
How long ago was all this?
It just kind of goes on here and there,
Oh, so it still kind of continues.
Oh yeah, you never know.
Oh wow.
You never know. And then.
So how did you find out it was a burial ground? Did someone tell you, or did you find it by accident?
Well, my uncle's lived here. He lived here for a long time, and he knew the mayor, and some people from church, and they all was told it was in the area and whatever. It's all a big hill.
Okay, so it was already kind of known in that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I just find it strangely fascinating here. I'm going to tell my brother Bill. He was talking about brother Bill's off camera here. He's helping me here. He was saying that where his place is at, it's about a mile away. About a mile away, you say?
What's that now again?
The burial ground's about a mile away from your resident.
No, a mile long. It's only 50 feet from my house.
Oh, 20, 50 feet from his house, and it's about a mile long. It's an Indian burial ground. And, and I asked him if he's got any paranormal activity going on in the house. He said, yeah, he's got dishes that fly off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's had doors open,
moved.
doors moving, and that there was an imprint of someone on the bed, like sitting and all this stuff. And that it still kind of comes and goes. And
you just never know.
Wow.
You never know.
And what I was going to say is I find it strangely mysterious, fascinating, yet a little terrifying that it's very interesting that in these areas or these burial grounds, there's I don't want to say every time, but a lot of the time when you know that a burial ground exists or a cemetery and you see there's sightings of cryptids in and around the area.
Right.
Not every time, but a lot of the times.
That's been our experience.
Yeah, it was our experience, and that's why. And going back on some of the interviews that we've done, you've done, and I've done, it seems like I don't know if it's a certain amount of energy in the area that draws the Bigfoot in, the Dogman in, the cryptids in. I mean, I don't know, but I think it's something worth pursuing a little deeper sometime in the future.
Yeah.
and looking into a bit more. Could it be just a big, wide coincidence? Possibly, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's we put a camera out back after we seen the big 12-footer walk by my apartment right here. She seen it that night. And,
man, 12-footer.
And
That's big.
I was gonna say she said something, but we seen one hitting the road.
Okay.
And we're coming home late. She was driving. I was drinking. I wasn't drunk. I was just drinking some beers. I don't drink and drive.
Right.
We come across this juvenile hitting the road. I told you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And seen his foot. So we slowed down and went around it. Real big. He couldn't go over it. I was just thinking once I got home, if we would have stopped, Mama could have flipped the truck over. We'd been in trouble.
Wow.
But anyway, we didn't do nothing. We just got home. Well, about 3-4 months later, that big one comes by. She sees the back part of him go by, big gray one, 11, 12 foot. I put a leaf rake up. I can reach 8 foot, and it was probably over a foot of the leaf rake. She told me to stop.
Man. We had an incident that there was a guy.
He was thinking this. He put a stick between her window of her truck, 3 foot long.
Yeah.
Right in the center of the window in the back of the bed. The next night, a real loud tree knock. The next night, a blue orb comes floating in and looks at me right in the window, looking out the window at the same time, and takes off. We had some shit, man.
That's crazy.
It is.
To measure 12 feet, it's almost so terrifyingly strange to know that something 12 feet is up and walking around out in the woods.
Oh, it's nuts, man. He could have probably looked right in the damn window on the second floor.
Well, yeah,
He probably did.
What makes the first floor is 10 feet.
Yeah.
So I don't see why not.
It's right out the window, level about his head is, or whatever.
There was I've told this many times, but there was a guy down here, I said down here. He's not around here. It's down further south of here, Tulsa, but
yeah.
He had a sighting down in some remote part. I want to call it central southeast Oklahoma. And we measured it while the Bigfoot he saw walked in front of a county road sign, and we measured it, and we estimate based on what he said, and he was very close. It was somewhere around 12 and a half feet.
Yep.
And that was...
His shoulders are probably as high as the stomach. Probably half his weight.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Sitting there, big monster, big old boy.
And that's really what it is. He just kept saying he was a monster.
If they wanted me, dude, they could have had me so many times. I had one kick my truck while I was sleeping in it.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
But I went right to sleep. I said, you want me? You could have had me.
Well, and that's what's puzzling sometimes is that when eyewitnesses or people that have these experiences say, yeah, I know what it was, and it kicked the truck, or it poked me, or, it rocked the truck, or poked my tent. And, some people say, well, they don't abduct people, they're just curious. But then again, based on a lot of the David Paulides books, I haven't even touched, I'm almost done reading one of his missing persons 411, and it is very evident, I'll put it that way, to me that Bigfoot are responsible, but you wonder what clicks in their mind to want to abduct someone. Most of the time, unfortunately, it is children, very, very young, and older people with minor disabilities, such as hearing loss or vision loss or some type of a orthopedic ailment of some, an impediment. But why abduct those people, those age groups? And yet you have some that are just like Curious George. I don't get it. So in my mind, they're very unpredictable. And I just tell people, be wary.
It's 50-50 on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or let you be.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like I said, they know what's in your heart. Because I know they can, I think they pretty much are psychic. They know what you think, that's what I think.
Well, I think it's either, and I've thought about this, and we've talked about this before. My brother Bill's right here. Is that there is some truth, I think, to what you just said. I think they've been so in tune with their environment for so long, and they don't have any electronic devices around them. It's just they're in tune to nature, and everything has vibration, right? We've talked about this. And everything is electrical or electromagnetic. And so since everything has vibration, when you're so pure in the woods, being for so long with no electrical devices, can you sense these electrical devices? And in many ways, we're a very complex being a human, but can they sense our fear? Can they hear our heartbeat? Can they smell pheromone release or hormone release from us? And can they detect our intent? I mean, those are things that we don't hear a lot about, but I think there is some level of possibility there.
I think how many angels are around you too.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because I know I've got archangels. I've been told by seers or listening, they tell you what to say. Mm-hmm. But that one, I was going to tell you one quick. The one I seen on the road, they told me before I got to it. They said, "You're getting ready to see a Bigfoot." Went around the bend, and there it was. I ain't kidding you. There's no lie. Something told me before I went around that bend. There it was. It took off. It was like a bullet. It probably run 100 miles an hour. I'm telling you, it was a bullet. And it was trying to disappear. It was turning white. Half was black then, and it started turning white, trying to. Now, what's up with that? I'm just telling you exactly what I've seen.
I don't have an answer.
About a 6-footer standing next to a mailbox, and he seen me come around that bend, and bam, he was gone. It was wild. They told me first.
That's interesting.
Yep,
Very interesting
stuff, man. I tell you what.
Wow. So has there been someone with you when you see these, and then what did they say?
I was heading to my friend's house up on the hill about 11:30 in the evening, and hang out the rest of the night and drink some beer, build a fire at his place.
Yeah.
It just happened. And I was by myself, didn't have my flashlight. If I had my big flashlight, I would have stopped. I bought one right after that.
Wow.
I had they didn't have a flashlight. If I'd have stopped, I couldn't see nothing, So I just went by and it hit the smell of my truck, and I went, "Oh shit, man, that was a Bigfoot." You could smell that skunky smell.
Uh-huh.
It was like a real calm evening, no wind, humid summer. Yeah, I drove right through that smell, so it must have been more than one. That's what I was thinking.
It's possible.
Oh, yeah.
So what is your, we may have talked about this sometime back, and I didn't take very good notes, so my apologies. I don't know if I asked you this question, but what are your thoughts about the Bigfoot, where they come from, and what do you think they have originated from in your mind, or how do you view them?
I think they've been here for forever. It's just they are now really populated. That's what I think. And you got smart ones that control the other ones. Is that big gray one we're 3-4 miles from where we seen it, that one hitting the road. They knew where we lived. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They smell her truck, her perfume. I think they go around for women too, because they smell that perfume. They remember where it was. Mm-hmm. And they roam,
Well,
that's what I think. And they're, I don't know, man. Some are super smart, I think.
I think they do have an ability or an affinity to know where people are at in the home, and if they're by themselves, if there's a female by themselves. I mean, you've heard the term day watchers as well. That's kind of another name. Sure. I think there are those that watch and relay it to the other clan members, and they know when you come and go. They know when the male leaves. They know that you've got some dogs. They know that you always leave out the back, or you enter in the front, you leave out the back. They know these things, and so they watch our habits, and what we do over and over and over. And they are curious, you know, if we go into a bucket to get some grain and feed the chickens, they want to know what's in that bucket.
They know.
They know. I mean, so
Yeah.
interesting. Well, that's fascinating. I wanted to get your take on that too. And
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, I was out here, it was last winter, working my excursion, and kept hearing like a chirping, like a bird. It was a bird that was down here, then it was up on the hill.
right.
And then do it down here, then do it back up on top of the hill. I'm like, what the hell is that? So I go in the house, it's still doing it. I go in the house, it's freezing cold out. So I warm up a little bit and go back out. It wasn't doing nothing, it was quiet. All of a sudden it started up again. I went chirps like a bird in the middle of winter, in the dark.
I don't think of any
it was
birds
like
right now.
It's like it was weird, like a pecking, chirping, you know.
Yeah, I can't think of any species right now, except
But I'm just saying.
I'm saying it's a mammal.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a mammal, and it's about 8 to 12 feet tall.
Or little ones.
Or little ones. That's true.
I've heard them, not really bark, but like monkey chatter. They're real loud. One night we were camping down in Kentucky with Razor and stuff. I got us going the first night.
Yeah, I would say
It
so.
was 50 yards from the tent. It was loud enough over the speakerphone, or speaker.
Wow.
And I go, oh boy, okay. So one was either telling the other one to leave me alone. That's what I was taking it, you know.
Yeah. Again, we
Next
don't know.
day, we got up noon, big old yell on the back. Oh, yeah, that's where we're going to go riding. I was petrified the whole time, pretty much.
Wow. Yeah, I would too.
Nervous.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's crazy. I was down close to real big. You know, it's a big state park. Big
Oh,
area.
yeah. Yeah.
But they're all over there. They're all over down there.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I've had more than, I would say, at least 3 or 4 people I've spoken to that I've done interviews, them being in the forest area, and pretty terrifying encounters.
Anyways, to go to the bathroom, you got to walk through the bedroom. So I go on the front porch. This little house, you know, ain't no big, nothing fancy, but
Right.
so I'm going to the bathroom on the front porch about 6 in the morning. There's a shed out there about 30 yards behind the house. Bam! Something hits that damn shed. 6 in the morning. I'm going, shit, they know I'm here too.
What?
What the hell?
They followed you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I can't get away from them. They had a big X in the backyard.
Wow.
Winter before that.
Yeah.
Or it might have been, it was winter before that one. We were down there with the Razor. But yeah, man, I've had so many things. It's like, I don't know, man.
Well, it seems like some people, you know, will have a lot more encounters. I mean, that question comes up. How come some people have more encounters than others? And I think there's a multitude of reasons. I think it's because of where they live. There's a chance of accessibility. I think it's they know that these creatures exist, and so they carefully listen to sounds, what they know it's not, what they kind of chalk it up to just, you know, process of elimination, what it could be. And I think that, and I've said this before on some other shows, I think it could be a process of that some people have an affinity, an energy about them that these creatures are drawn to. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be out there in left field kind of thing, because we're
I
all,
understand totally.
that's just how we're made, you know, our
Yeah.
central nervous
Well,
system.
one thing about that area is he's big coon hunter years ago. He's old now, but he swears he shot one in the face one night. He chased his coon dogs.
Oh,
And
that'd be terrifying.
It was behind a tree laying down. He lifted his head over top of that tree and said he shot him right in the face with buckshot.
Oh,
And so that put a mark on him
yeah.
right there.
Let alone probably pissed him off.
and his family had like 300 or 400 acres, so he knew the woods up and down, back and forth. When he was a kid.
Man.
He had one chase his truck once, trying to grab the bumper and stuff, or get on the back of it. And 5 years old, he seen one out by the potato spot on the hillside where they kept it cool.
Yeah.
Mom told him to go get some potatoes out there, and he looked up there. There was one standing there by it. And he ran back to the house. It was 5. He said,
Wow.
Yeah, it's like wherever I go, it's like somebody knows something or seen something, or it's like, like.
Yeah. At that time, I know around Oklahoma, this would have been, prior to 67, before the Bluff Creek incident in California. But, people called them here in Oklahoma boogers.
Yep.
Wood boogers, mainly boogers, and then, depending on the incident or the town, I know in El Reno, Oklahoma, they had a lot of chickens that were missing, and someone swore that it was called the Chicken Man.
Oh, yeah.
And so it probably went by who knows how many different names across the country when whatever they saw it was stealing, Rabbit Man, Chicken Man, Hog Man,
oh, yeah.
Who knows, but.
My grandpa, he called them monkeys in them woods.
Yeah.
That's what he called them. He lived in Pineville, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Born and raised, he's buried on a mountain.
Is he really?
Yeah, the Expedition Bigfoot made a movie on that mountain.
Interesting.
They sure did. Look it up. He tore the tent up when they were there, and they ended up leaving.
Well, I know when we went to Kentucky one time, I saw a lot of family grave sites on those mountains.
Yep. Oh, yes. I got so many things that's out of control. The knowledge of other people, too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just fascinating.
It is. It really is. I mean, you could see where, someone can become obsessed, and, you dig in a little bit and you go, some people can go, I don't want any more, it's too scary. And then another person goes, I can't get enough, and they
I don't even try. That's the whole thing.
And it just happens, yeah.
I mean, we were camping up here in Ohio, and in a big truck, we were out there playing around with stuff. We had camp going, and we spent the night. This thing could have been watching us all night. We had a fire going.
Very possible.
On a little tub lid.
Yeah, very possible.
He walks by the tent about 6:30 in the morning, right about dusk, or sun coming up. He made a bunch of noise on purpose. Walks through the honeysuckle trees and the bushes and the fence instead of walking through the path.
Wow.
I'm idiot here. Sorry about that.
Wow.
But, he could have been watching us all night.
Yeah.
And nothing makes a bunch of noise like that.
No.
Except that.
Yeah, it's just a process of elimination. Who's going to be out here in the middle of the night?
I looked over at her. She was sleeping. We're in the tent. I'm going, oh, my gosh. Dude, 8 o'clock, we were gone. Loaded that truck, strapped it down, got that tent in that truck, we were gone.
Yeah.
Wasn't going back.
That's pretty terrifying. The tent, I don't know. I'm kind of with my brother Lane. The worst feeling is to know something is around that close around your tent, and you're in this confined space, and he's like, no, I'm not doing this. He unzips and bails out as fast as he can. He said, I would rather confront it rather than being kind of a guinea pig in a plastic, nylon.
I wasn't moving, man. I laid there and I was just like, shoo. I was close. We got to go.
Wow.
He just let us know.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, he probably heard me snoring, shit.
Oh, I'm sure. They probably said, it's time to come in. He's conked out.
The magic hour.
Yeah, the magic hour.
He knew I was sleeping.
The magic hour.
But I was so petrified. I wasn't really petrified, but I was like, someone getting out of there. I didn't even check for prints because I just wanted to go.
Yeah, well, I can't blame you.
Yeah, we had a lake right there, had a bean field right there. There's food everywhere, man.
He had it made.
He
had a buffet.
Fuck yeah, he had deer everywhere.
Yeah, deer.
Shoot.
Grain, water, fish.
Yep, fish, everything. Take a bath.
Man,
That's his place.
You were trespassing.
I know. Well, we're down up on this mountaintop looking at overlook. We're there for about 20 minutes at the most. Big tree. Crash. What the hell? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, a tree goes down right there, and it's down. I'm talking about it was on the other hill. We're on a big lookout. So there's a cave in the hillside. So I'm thinking, well, maybe there's a baby in that cave. We're pissed because we're here.
Well, yeah, it's possible.
The way, another tree goes down. These were little trees.
It's kind of like when we were at camp one time. We had 2 trees that went down. The likelihood is I could see one every once in a while, just by chance, but 2?
Yeah. Within minutes.
Yeah.
And then we heard the whistles too.
Yeah, we heard whistles and everything, and we were like, what's going on?
So we got in the Razors and left.
Yeah, smart idea.
Because I looked around and I'm going, we got to go.
Yeah, smart idea.
Yeah,
good plan.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Brother, I'm going to have to get off here.
Okay, well, listen, thanks for hooking back up with me. I really appreciate it, and I think you're onto a good plan there, staying home and doing what you do best. Have them come to you.
Buddy, I just, we go razoring in the mountains, and we went to Wildcat down in Tennessee, Kentucky, and seen
like
structures, rock stuff. We shouldn't have been there, and we just looked around.
Yeah.
We run around 30,000 razor, putting around.
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, I appreciate you, man, and getting back with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause I hardly ever get to talk to anybody.
Well, yeah, you're welcome. Anytime.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, call anytime. You guys take care, and you have a blessed night and a better tomorrow.
You too, man. Thank you, sir. Have a good one, guys.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's it's I've talked to him before. Brother Bill has helped me kind of produce here. We're just kind of on the fly. I'm not in my studio tonight. It was raining and super cold out there in the studio, so I'm in the house here. I talked to him back in June. I was looking at my notes. I can't believe time flies like that. And I didn't take a lot of notes on this one. I don't know why at the very beginning, but where he's at is they've just got activity all over the place. The neighbors know it. He's got buddies that have seen him. And so I believe that this is not unlike many places across the United States. There's just some hot spots. But, a lot of people, I haven't had in a while, but a lot of people ask us or ask me, and they'll say, where can I go investigating? And, I want to make sure before I give any recommendations that people understand that when they go out investigating, if they see one, it's going to change your life. It could either be negative or I hate to use the word positive, because it still changes your life, even if there was no aggression toward you or something didn't happen. It still impacts your life, and not everybody can handle seeing something that they were told for their lifetime. It was just wives' tales, folklore, campfire stories, and all of a sudden they see one, they go, they're real. So, it's you could tell it impacts his life, not wanting to get out in the tent, they're around, and he's got buddies and friends that seen him and around the area. So really when people say, where can I go investigate, it's a matter of sometimes just look around your area. And I know some people say, well, Lance, I live in the city. Okay, move a little bit outside the city and look down rivers. So remember, everything follows water. Everything follows water sources. So, just like Tulsa, we have the Arkansas River runs through there.
Yeah.
Verdigris River, and those are old water systems. So everything, animals, even though the Arkansas runs not downtown Tulsa, but kind of pretty close to some major event buildings, and structures around Tulsa. And here's the thing, when it's dark, you can't see anything down there moving at night. So, look at water sources, look at where they're at, and then start moving off the bank, looking for prints and tracks and
Not
things.
by yourself.
No, I wouldn't go by yourself, and I've talked about that. You got to be careful, even though I've gone out by myself because it's hard to coordinate with us, but you want to tell people kind of where you're at, and you have to have some means to protect you, of course. But anyway, where he lives, there's a lot of things going on, and it just goes to show you that, how many people are like this guest. I think there's hundreds, thousands of people like this. There's pockets or communities that they all know what's going on, but they really don't share too much outside of their circle.
Yeah, and I think what's different with this gentleman is that, he does have documentation of things he's talking about.
Yeah, he's got some documentation of what he's talking about, and documentation. They actually have photos, pictures. Some may be blurry, as he said. He's got a buddy that was trying to hurry up and take a video, but you want to be careful when you do. Remember, guys, and you know this. If you capture something on video, audio, don't immediately post it on social. I would wait. There's groups that are scanning these social media sites. I'm telling you right now, and you don't want to be on their radar. So if you get something, clear image of something, wait. Just stay low a while. Don't talk about it. That could be a problem. And just wait a while. Let things kind of process and get a game plan. And if you want a way to figure out what to do, I've talked to many people in this circumstance. You can give me a call, which this is a good time to bring up the toll-free number. If anyone's had an experience or you need to talk to me about something, or you have any questions, you've had experiences with Bigfoot or Cryptid, you just don't understand what it is, whether it was at afar or close up, whether you had seen a UFO or, believe it or not, an alien, ET, and or you're experiencing any paranormal experiences around your house or property or friends or family, just give me a call, toll free, 24/7, 365 at 1-866-306-8085, and leave a message, and I will call you back as soon as I get a chance. Yeah, so I've helped a lot of people. We've helped a lot of people kind of get through some things. They've had a lot of questions. Or you can actually go to our website at monster911.com, and in the menu bar, go to contact, click on that, and it'll drop down to you can leave me a message. Just give me some name, and type in the description, kind of what's going on, and I'll get it. So, you want anything to add, or?
Well, I was going to add, what did he mention about maybe monitoring that he's had in regards to either helicopters, unmarked vehicles? I think he had touched upon a little bit of maybe what a friend had sent him or experienced in that regard. So maybe I missed it, but did he touch upon that aspect?
Well, no, he didn't. Bill's asking if he had mentioned anything about, you probably heard what he said, but I'll repeat it. Said that anything regarding about vehicles, people in the area, or helicopters, or these agencies we talk about. And he basically said that from the last time we spoke, his buddy was having some activity, and he tried to text him. This was the very beginning of today's.
Yeah.
And he tried to text him, and he can't get a hold of his buddy. And that's why I asked, has he normally been replying back? Because some people get busy. You text them and they don't reply immediately. They'll reply like
a week later,
2 hours later, or a day later, or a week later, and that's their norm because they're just busy people. But that's why I asked, has he normally replying back fast? And he said, yeah. And I can't get a hold of him. So, that's when he was kind of making light of it, but he was kind of serious, and maybe he's dead, or, so, I was kind of, I may have recommended, I said, well, you need to find out,
yeah,
what's going on. I don't know if I said that or not, but, I'm sure he'll follow up. But, I'm telling you right now that there are, and I could go more in depth. I won't let this be a time to go into it. I'm just going to have a separate show for this, to talk a little bit about more what you people can do. As I said, I'm writing a book right now, and I'm really kind of getting into the meat and potatoes of these these black operative groups that do the government's dirty work. And that's really plainly put. That's what they do. And their job is very simple. They cut the chatter and they review social sites. They listen to YouTube videos and everything. And that's why we don't really talk about names anymore or give specific locations. Is because someone is always listening, and that someone is them. And so that's why if you shoot a Bigfoot or you down a Bigfoot or you had a very close experience or you have one, especially in your property, you don't want to, say, hey, I've got one on my property. I live at blah, 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 Kentucky or Oklahoma. You don't want to, you just want to, we can talk about it or just if you can, wait a little bit, try to get things to calm down. If you can't, give me a ring on the toll-free number and then we can kind of go from there, But I guess what I'm saying is that no one has the exact formula what to do, but every case is different. Yeah. But you just don't want to immediately go talking about it because believe it or not, that can kind of get you in some hot water that I don't think you want to be in. And I'm being dead serious about that. So as many of you that follow the show, you know what I'm talking about, but I'm learning tons more about this. You and I speak about this weekly, my brother Bill and I and Lane, and it's you got to take these folks serious. So that's why I'm writing the book, so you guys can know what to do, what not to do, and I promise it's coming soon. I'm just trying to make it nice and make it flow well. So anyway, that was the scoop on that.
Yeah.
Is that he doesn't know why his friend, hasn't contacted, so I don't know. I hope everything's okay. Anything else that you can?
Yeah, it's almost like a more negative response if someone has a cryptid encounter that they report versus, say, if someone said that they saw lights in the sky. You're pretty much setting yourself up for some heartache if you report any cryptid sighting.
Yeah, and Bill was saying it's kind of a negative when you said it, when you have it's definitely something when people have an encounter they don't think about, that not only there's two aspects of it. Well, there's two aspects. There's the sighting, then there's these people, this dark organization. And then there's subsets. You've got the sighting itself, was it aggressive? Was it a class A? Was it a class B? Was it a class C? How close was it? Was it aggressive? Did it touch you? Did it hurt you? Did it throw something at you? All those things. And then, on the, hopefully you don't have a part B to this where you have this dark agency, did they just come knock at your door, want to know who you are and leave? Did they get aggressive? Did they set you down in your house or your business or outside and they catch you getting gas and they start threatening you a little bit in soft terms? And that's, their psychological warfare is very intentful. And what they say, there's no accidents on how they say what they say, the tone in which they say it, and the manner in which they say it. It's all intentful for a purpose. So that's kind of what I'm getting into and what we talk about all the time. And that's what I'm trying to educate you guys about, is that it's one thing to have an encounter, and then it's a whole nother thing when people find out that there's another group trying to subdue or suppress that from getting out.
And that's what we didn't know when we got into
No,
this.
we didn't know any of this when we got involved. It was by total happenstance, and but we became, you could say, baptized real quick in the waters of this real fast with the podcast show. Is that things started at first not making sense, and then it was repeated. Some of these things with these interviews and people calling me back saying this happened and that happened, and it didn't make sense to me at first. But after a while, I'm like, wait a minute.
It becomes a trend that these people aren't talking between themselves, obviously. These
No,
are people across the U.S.
Yeah, these people don't know each other, and then they're saying very similar things. So you just kind of, in this case, you just add up 2 and 2 is 4, and you start realizing, wait a minute, this is not happenstance. These people don't know each other, and they're repeating some of the very same similar things with some of the same similar dark
techniques and
groups
individuals.
and they're saying the same thing, asking the same questions. separate events, different people.
Having issues maybe with their job or
Oh, yeah.
taxes, the list goes on.
Yeah, bank issues, accounts closing, it goes on. So, but anyway, I think we'll just close it off from there. It's kind of a long summary here. In the meantime, guys, again, if you have any sightings or anything, give us a call. In the meantime, I'm on Twitter. We're now on TikTok, and we're just doing some interesting things for you guys. And if you ever have a sighting, you call the toll-free number. In the meantime, take care and learn all you can. Until next time, this is Lance with Monster 911.
Take care.